Thank you, Tony. References are typically made to John Howard's gun laws at the time of tragedy, and we saw gun laws become a topic for electioneering at the recent New South Wales by-elections. The government funded buybacks in 1996 and 2003 cost $700 million. However, research shows these have had no effect in reducing the number of firearms deaths. During the recent amnesty, over 26,000 firearms were surrendered by law-abiding citizens, but it's highly unlikely that career criminals will hand in their illegal firearms during an amnesty. So what do panel members believe the federal and state governments can do to effectively address the issue of illegal firearms and their criminal use?
Now, full disclosure, Diana, you are a lobbyist for guns and sporting organisations?
I'm employed by Sporting Shooters Association of Australia, New South Wales branch.
All right, fair enough. Tim Fischer.
Look, the statistics can be looked at as lies, damn lies and statistics, but a fair take on those stats, I think, would lead the average Australian to believe correctly there has been a reduction in gun deaths in this country since John Howard spearheaded the firearms agreement between the federal government and the state governments, since the legislation passed, since the buyback took place. Yes, there's been chipping away since by degrees, but are we in a better place than the USA? Do we want to import the NRA terminology and the poisonous policies of the NRA into Australia? I don't think even you want to do that, and I certainly will stand up against that. And that's why John Howard and I produced this open letter, authorised by Nathan Quigley, let me make it very clear, a couple of days ago. Timing's everything in politics, but we wanted to bring the issue back to guns and what the Shooters Party stands for with regard to winding back the agreement in 1996. And the last thing I would say is, as we said in this letter, I support the right of farmers, sporting shooters, recreational shooters, Olympic shooters to have guns properly. But I'm damned if we should have semi-automatics or automatics in the suburbs and towns of this country, and that's why we're...
Let me go back to our question. Diana, I'll go back to you. Are you actually trying to wind back the gun laws in Australia?
The issue that we've got is the illegal firearms and career criminal use of those illegal firearms. So 90% of gun crime is committed with illegal firearms.
Yes, but do you want to wind back the gun laws in Australia?
I think we need to have a look at some of the bureaucratic over-regulation of law-abiding firearms owners that abide by the very strict gun laws that we have here in Australia. But criminals, by their very nature, don't abide by the law. So further restricting firearms laws is not going to get to the real issue of illegal firearms and the criminal use of those firearms to commit gun crime.
But surely having more guns out there of any sort, you know, the illegal guns is something that's really difficult, because obviously that, you know, there's a lot of handguns in this country and we pretend we don't have them, and they're out there because they're smuggled, or I don't know how they get in here. But to put more guns out in the street of any sort, you know, you hear about, you know, trying to legalise, you know, shotguns that shoot 8 shots in 6 seconds or something. It's just ridiculous. We have no predators that are going to jump up and kill you up here. You know,
well,
farmers don't need.
Jimmy, I'm just going to throw to Bridget McKenzie.
Come on, this is
come on, Bridget McKenzie would quite like to have that.
Well, and I'd also like to declare that I am a member of SSAA myself, not a lobbyist, but a member of that association. And I think Diane's question is incredibly sensible because, as she rightly points out, gun violence in the vast majority of cases is not from law-abiding firearm owners nor their firearms. It is actually from bikie gangs, organised crime and criminals on our streets who are accessing illicit and legal firearms en masse. I mean, we've got the classic case...
Can I just interrupt?
But I wanted to actually answer her question.
That's fine, but here's another question for you, just to think about. So the NRA regularly makes the case that it's not guns that kill people, it's the people that hold them, and they make the same argument about illegal guns. But, of course, the biggest ever gun massacre in the United States is done. We've just seen it in Las Vegas, and all of those guns were bought legally.
It's absolutely horrific, Tony, but I think comparing the USA culturally to us on this issue is wrong. We don't have a constitution. We don't have a Second Amendment enshrined right to bear arms.
But we did have gun massacres in Australia.
And
yes, we did. I'm not ignoring that.
We have a culture that glorifies guns. You know, I see them on television every day. If you make guns available and kids are growing up thinking guns are cool, that's going to explode in your face.
Well, I think it is...
Uninterrupted.
Excuse me.
Make your point.
Yes, please. Thank you, gentlemen.
I'm very hard to keep quiet.
Yeah, clearly. It's more apt, I think, to compare our culture and our institutions to, say, Canada, New Zealand. We've got same historical context where they don't have the same sort of mass shootings, etc. The way they licence and regulate their firearms is that they actually look at the person that's taking out and do extensive background checks, etc., and say, Tony, you want a firearm? We've assessed you. You're a fit and proper person. Done quite a detailed check, and then you can go and purchase guns. Here in Australia, we register the firearms specifically and are less probably concerned about the person that's holding it. So I think there are different ways to have a safe and secure, regulated system that delivers on the outcome we want, which is a safe and secure community, but doesn't restrict the over 1 million Australians who love to either sporting shoot or hunt.
Very briefly, in a couple of words, you'd like to see a loosening of the gun laws?
I would like to see, I think the NFA has been in place for 20 years. It has the agreements of all state and territories. I do not want to see that tightened at all. It's incredibly strict. It's recognised as being strict across the world.
Would you like to see it loosened?
I would like to probably, as I said in the Senate inquiry into this issue a couple of years ago, I think the New Zealand and the Canadian system deliver the same safety and security for community and ensure probably a different style of regulation with the same outcome.
Okay,